Sean, what do we know about this visit in terms of... I've just given a scant outline there, but we're not too sure about the timings of it, are we, obviously for security reasons?
No, I mean, earlier on today it felt like it was all happening, and it now feels as if it has happened. But President Putin was visiting military headquarters in Kherson, as you say, and across in eastern Luhansk. There were command posts where he was trying to get briefed by his senior commanders. Those command posts are normally quite some way away from the front line. What was most interesting was around the Zaporizhzhia, Kherson region, when he would have gone to visit there, because if you remember, that was what the area was illegally annexed by President Putin back in September last year, wasn't recognised by the international community, but then was the scene of a rather humiliating defeat for Putin when he had to withdraw his troops from Kherson when Ukraine took over back in November of last year. And one of their big concerns will be there's several areas where the Ukrainian counteroffensive could happen, but this is one of them, and therefore undoubtedly President Putin will be looking to try to see how the defences are getting on. And it's interesting that after over a year of fighting, he's done 2 visits in 2 months. Last month he was at Mariupol looking at some of the rebuilding work going on there.
Why? What's the aim? Is it the optics of it? Is it to show that he's not afraid to travel inside Ukraine? What's the overall aim?
Probably D, all of the above, I suspect. The war is not going well for Russia here. Russia's ceded over 50% of the territory that it had taken. It's had massive casualties. It's also lost a huge amount of equipment, potentially 2/3 of its main battle tanks, over 2,000 main battle tanks, and it's got this Ukrainian counteroffensive to come. So against all of that, President Putin will want to be seen as a strong leader. He wants to be demonstrated he's in control. He's been in a dark suit. He's been visiting his military commanders, holding court, and lots of direction there. He's also probably tipping a nod to the International Criminal Court, which obviously indicted him, threatened him with arrest, and he's just showing the international community I can still travel wherever I want to. But let's be quite clear, this is almost certainly about raising domestic confidence. I'm in control. The war is going as planned, mainly because Russia desperately needs to get more soldiers to volunteer and join the military because they've had such a hard time of it late. All of these visits, though, are very carefully choreographed. That's why we're not quite sure of the actual timing of it all for an internal messaging. But what we do know is almost certainly President Putin didn't end up talking to the frontline troops that were involved in the fighting, particularly around Bakhmut, because if he had done, he probably, A, wouldn't have liked to hear what they had to say, and B, they probably were a bit of a risk to Putin himself.